Wake up in the morning feeling like P. Diddy.
You suck! Dun, 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 dun.
Everybody knows that the dice are loaded. Everybody rolls with their fingers crossed. Everybody knows the war is over. Everybody knows the good guys lost. Everybody knows the fight was fixed. The poor stay poor, the rich get rich. That's how it goes. Everybody knows. Everybody knows.
All right, my babies. Welcome back to another exciting episode of So Be It. I'm your humble host, Cyrus, here titillating your audio holes one episode at a time. Or at least I'm trying to, with accurate and very lustful tongue flicks. As always, the views and expressions on So Be It do not reflect those of YouTube, any YouTube channel, any YouTube radio station, or any kind of internet radio station for that matter, or terrestrial radio. However, they do reflect those of the haterade drinking sheep monkeys. I despise them. Yes. Always despise them. So, my babies, as tonight's episode name hints at, this is kind of a little bit of a coming out party. No, it is not mine. Shut the hell up. For those who know me, who are in my deeper circle, you know I'm way too straight to be that way. I could actually, in fact, suck one off and still be straight. So let's just get that out of the way. Now, reason for the episode title is because I kind of had a privilege kind of bestowed upon me, if you will. I had a former pupil of mine. Obviously, I'm not going to name names. You guys know I don't do that. But a former pupil of mine from just a few years ago contacted me last night and was kind of feeling a little confused about all of it. He told me that, he's not completely gay. He's just, he's bi. Right smack dab there in the center. And just kind of feeling confused about it, not really sure how to feel, and, kind of messing with his head a little bit. And, truthfully, I feel rather, honored and privileged that this person, he chose to talk to me about it and come to me and say, hey, I'm feeling this certain way. I'm, not really sure how to kind of exactly deal with it. It's messing with my head. I'm confused about some stuff. And, this isn't just for him. This is for anybody out there who just might happen to stumble across this show, or for those of my listeners who find themselves in this situation. This is for you too. It's all right to be confused. Since when does everybody know everything and have their head screwed on right and know exactly what the hell they're doing and how they're feeling? Nobody knows that all the time. It's impossible. And if anybody says that they do all the time, then they're lying through their teeth, because at one point or another, they are scared shitless. And for those of you who know me, and for those of you who will get to know me, you will come to the conclusion that, I really don't care how you are. If you're straight, you're gay, you're bi, you're trans, you're pan, you're metro, you're shot, stabbed, fucked, or snake bit. I really don't give a rat's ass, as long as you're happy. As cliche as that sounds, and I hate cliches, I really do. I despise them. I just prefer you happy. That's all. That's my main concern. I don't care if you you like the same team, because hey, It happens, all right? You like what you like. The heart wants what the heart wants. So if that's, if you're a dude and you like dudes, okay, fine. You're a girl, you like girls, okay. If you find yourself in situations where you flop back and forth, fine. Just as long as you're doing what makes you happy and what puts a smile on your face, then who gives a shit about the rest? If anybody is giving you problems, which in this day and age, they shouldn't, because, it's there's still some homophobes out there, and there's still a lot of hate out there for, for the gay lesbian community, which really sucks ass. But, all we can do is just support each other and try to, try to stamp it out as much as we can. But for anybody out there who's like feeling confused about anything, for anybody who's not sure what to think, what to feel, take your time with it. To me, the most important thing would be not to rush anything. Don't make any kind of serious decisions as far as this arena goes. Like jumping into, trying to get relationships, try to get booty calls, whatever the hell impulse you have. My thing would be, don't make any decisions just yet. Get yourself, if you're one of those that's fighting confusion, you're not really sure how exactly you feel about it, or you don't exactly have everything, mapped out in your brain of how you want to deal with, the feelings that you have, or, you're not really sure what's up, down, left, right. Take some time for yourself. Get all that stuff figured out first. Because I think where a lot of people tend to get in trouble, and obviously I'm no fucking doctor, but this is all an educated guess on my part, but hey, at least I'm trying, okay? I think what happens is a lot of people, hey coach, what's up? A lot of people, when they discover that, they like the same team, and they haven't really processed it entirely, and they're still their brain is still scrambled trying to decide, I don't know, do I really feel this way about this guy? Or, oh my God, am I really into boys? Or do I still like girls too? Or am I just for the one team? What the hell am I doing? They start jumping into things. They find somebody and they attach themselves to them. And then they find themselves all kinds of fucked up 7 ways from Sunday. And in some situations, they get into, sometimes it gets so damn close to where there's almost no way back from it. And all I'm trying to say is, give yourself a little time to adjust to your new identity, whether, again, like I said, don't give a rat's ass. It doesn't matter. Straight, gay, bi, trans, pan, metro, shot, stab, fuck, or snake bit. Doesn't matter. Get your head on straight and get to a point to where you're going, okay, I am absolutely, utterly, 150% comfortable with this. This is who I am. This is how I feel. This is what I want. Then you'll be in a very, very great position to navigate life's waters going forward as far as this arena is concerned. You'll know how to handle it. You'll know how you feel. You know what you like, what you don't like. And you'll be able to go on from there. And, I said this to this pupil last night who contacted me. Truthfully, not sure how he took it. I never really got a response from him, so I'm kind of hoping that he took it in a good manner. But just in case he's listening to this and he didn't really understand or, kind of comprehend what I meant, which is the real big fucking problem with texting. Listen to me now. Take the time that you need. Get everything figured out exactly as I just mapped it out. How you feel, what you like, what you don't like, girls, boys, girls, whatever. Doesn't matter. And then when you're absolutely comfortable with yourself, you'll be able to walk down this path with a whole shitload of confidence. And you won't have to worry about a damn thing. And as far as anybody saying anything to you, throwing derogative slurs in your direction, homophobic slurs and all this other stuff, I know it's going to be difficult at first, but do yourself a favor and just tune them out. Make them the static in the background that you can't tell what they're saying. Because truthfully, it's not worth hearing what they have to say. Because if they just really can't accept, who you are, who you identify to be, well, fuck them. They don't really matter as far as you're concerned. So get yourself happy and then keep yourself that way. And then if you decide that, or you come to the realization sometime down the road that, no, I don't identify as this anymore. I don't. Well, then fine. So be it. It happens. It happened to a friend of mine a couple years ago. Same exact thing. It goes back to kind of the old saying, love thyself. Wise man once said, love thyself. And that's quite literally what you have to do. I mean, not exactly brain surgery on that one. Got to get yourself comfortable, got to get yourself happy and in a positive frame of mind with how things are. And hey, presto. So to the pupil who contacted me last night, if you're listening out there, trust me on this. Get yourself good first. It's good to be confused. It's okay. Nobody has all their shit figured out at the same time all the time. Hell no. And especially with this, this is a huge thing for you. So take the time to understand it. Once you fully understand it, then you can move on to other things. But that's going to be the first step. Understanding it. And then once you do, the sky's the limit, my man. There's nowhere for you to go but up. And I mean, I'm not in any of this kind of situations because like I said, I find myself, I'm a straight guy. I've got no problem admitting that I am. And, I've had moments where, gay guys have come up to me and they've hit on me. It's been about one. I can count on one hand how many times it's happened. It's probably happened like 3 or 4 times in like the last, 10, 15 years, about 3 times. And was it a little uncomfortable? Yeah, it was. Not because they were gay or anything. Like I said, I don't give a shit about that. It was uncomfortable only because of, sorry guys, I appreciate it. It's flattering and everything, but I don't swing that way. And I had someone tell me recently that they thought it was a damn shame that I didn't, and that if the tides ever changed, that I needed to contact him. I needed to talk to him. And I'm like, well, about as strong as aftershave there, pal. Hey, so because I don't necessarily like to be mean about stuff like that, because I know if somebody's really into somebody and they get rejected or whatever, it can it can be a little brutal. It can feel brutal. And I'll admit it, it's, I've had my fair share of that, so I know how brutal it can be. So I don't like to be the one to do that. But at the same time, it's like, well, I'm going to maintain myself. And, again, goes back to love thyself. So that's what I'm doing. And so, it's like I said, it's flattering, but no, don't think so. But so to anybody out there who's feeling this type of feeling, you're confused, you've just recently discovered that you play for the other team, or you play for the home team, and you're not really sure how to go about it, then just kind of take what I said and run with it. Understand it first, and then you can move on to the big bad stuff. Or if you just want to go out there and hit up the bars and stuff and just go absolutely ape shit, well, that's your prerogative, not mine. That's what you want to do, then so be it. Do what makes you happy. That's just how I would play it for anybody who's, kind of stumbling around in the dark on this one. And it kind of, it's kind of crossed my mind a couple times. How would things be for me personally if I were to be gay? And the first thought that I have would be my parents, because, those of you that are in my absolute deepest, darkest circle, you guys know for a fact that my parents are extremely, extremely old school. My mom, she was raised pretty tight, and my dad, especially on the Roman Catholic side. So that was, of course, extremely frowned upon. Dipping into the Skittles, so to speak. And I honestly think that, my parents, they would still love me. As cliche as that might sound, I think they still would. But at the same time, they would struggle with that revelation horribly. They, in front of me, they would probably put on a brave face, as brave as they could. My mom would probably be on the verge of tears. But behind closed doors, most likely they would rant and rave and be absolutely just horrified. Like, oh my God, how could this be? Where did we go wrong? What did we do? So, that's no offense to them. It's just the reality of the situation. They would probably take it very, very hard. I like to think that they would come around to it eventually, but it would take a really, really long ass time for that to happen. But that's just me, and I would have no choice but to just deal with it. But, that's not going to happen just for me, just because of how I am. But if it were, those of you out there struggling on your own, trust me, I'd be right there with you if I was in the same boat. So, you got me here for moral support. Woohoo! So, Coach, if you're out there and you're listening, what kind of input do you think you have on, or, that you have on this situation? I know, I don't know if you've found yourself in the receiving end of a male pickup line or not, but, I wouldn't mind getting your input as to, what you would do in this type of situation. And, and that goes for anybody out there as well that's listening. If you have your own, experiences that you wish to bestow on any of the listeners that out there that may be dealing with this problem, by all means, pitch in. I would love to hear it. Because, I went to Wright State University in Dayton, Ohio for about a year and a half. And there was a guy who was not really in the acting department, but he was kind of close. It was kind of like the watered down part of the program. And he didn't really struggle with his identity too much. He knew exactly who he was, and he was damn proud of it. And he showed it. What? Good for you, dude. We still have a lot of people who, shame it. And what was really awesome was there was this guy on the campus. He up there. We got to calling him God. And there's actually YouTube videos of him from like 10, 11, 12 years ago. I'm sure they're still on there. He would be out there and he'd be preaching about just anything and everything, I think he just did it just to piss people off and get everyone riled up because he was bored. So, but there was one day he was pissing off a lot of people. He was going on this anti-gay tirade. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Come on, give it a rest. And because about 2 or 3 days before, he got escorted off campus by the campus police because he got into a really heated argument / debate with this guy about abortion and rape. And it almost ended up in a brawl. And so they had to escort this stupid ass off the campus. So, but anyway, he was going on all this anti-gay stuff. And I was walking with this group of friends that I'd formed. And this guy who was, you know, he was gay and everything, he looked at me, he said, why, like, he goes, as a straight, and he looked at me right and dead in the eye, he goes, as a straight guy, he goes, is there any way that you can justify what he's saying? And I looked at him, and in his eyes, I could just see like the hurt that was in his eyes. And it was, you know, it was deep, and it hurt me because I'm just standing there because I don't really know what he's going through because, you know, I'm not gay by any means. And so I just looked at him. I said, honestly, no, I can't justify what he's saying. I said, because I don't believe the same thing that he does. I said, you know, I'm not really, but I don't agree with what he's saying. So I go, I'd have no problem walking up to him and putting my middle fingers in his face, pulling a Stone Cold Steve Austin on him. He goes, why don't we do him one better? I'm like, all right, what do you have in mind? And he took my hand in his, and we just walked right in front of him. I'm like, oh, like, all right, cool. That'll be our middle finger to him. Why the hell not? That's what we did. And he pointed us out, and I turned to him, and I just did the middle finger over the back, and, you know, everybody was clapping. A bunch of people started clapping and cheering and stuff. So it was kind of a cool moment. So we got to the other side. He let go of my hand. He goes, you know, you're probably the only straight guy that I know that didn't flinch with doing that. I said, well, hey, it's just me, dude. So, okay. We got some feedback here. Coach said, I missed the beginning. You could equate this to me becoming non-religious. Gotta be you. Do what you believe. One life. Overcoming opinions of others toughens your skin. Absolutely. I agree. I absolutely agree. And for those of you who don't know, you know, as I mentioned before, the coach and I's dad's side of the family was Roman Catholic. You know, was drilled into them, and then they bestowed it onto us. And our grandparents, very heavy believers. The coach and I kind of have an opinion that it was more our grandmother than both of our grandparents were really into it, but our grandmother kind of was more than our grandfather. So, and that's a theory that I've stood behind for many, many, many years. And Coach, you may have to correct me on this. I'm trying to keep all the dates straight in my head, but I believe it was around 2005-ish, 2006-ish to like 07 or 08, somewhere in there. The coach kind of went through a little bit of a transformation, and the religious side just pretty much disappeared. And, you know, at first it seemed like it was kind of gradual, but then eventually the coach was like, okay, this is kind of, I don't think so. Sorry, bye. Catch you flipping, see you later, bye. And he said no more. One Sunday morning, when he was at our grandparents' house, he was asleep, dead asleep, in a coma, dreaming big dreams. And our grandmother went to go wake him up and said, you're going to be late for mass. You got to go to mass. He's like, yeah, I'm not going. And she was like, wait, what? He's like, yeah, I'm not going. I'm not religious. Bye. And the struggle kind of went on for a couple weeks. And even when the coach and I were together on one of our trips, and we would be up to our grandparents' house, you know, my grandparents, they always did the dinner prayer. You know, that was always like a absolute must. Let's see. early 2007. Okay, I wasn't too far off. Early 2007. So, but anyway, they would do the dinner prayer, and that was always like a big staple. And when the coach stopped saying it, and just about every single night, you know, because our grandmother, she ended up suffering from Alzheimer's, and it ended up getting like really, really bad right around, you know, the early part of the 2000 teens until she, I know, unfortunately passed away in June of 2015. But she would be looking over at the coach and just giving him one of the dirtiest looks I have ever seen her give. And the coach and I, we've heard stories, you know, from our dad's childhoods of our grandmother, just her facial expressions and the legendary eyebrow. It's so, I look over at her, she's giving him the look. Went, oh, this is going to be interesting. And, you know, there were some debates, you know, here and there. And I mean, there were parts of it that were kind of funny. And I'm sure she's going to, you know, come back and haunt my ass for saying that. But I mean, I'm not going to lie. There are parts of it that I thought were funny. Another one being when she was shown the documentary Religulous by Bill Maher. She made it, oh God, maybe like through 10, 15 minutes of it at the absolute most. And then she got so she got up and she left. She walked out of the room. So, you know, coach, the whole point of all that was, you know, coach, he became non-religious, just said, you know what, I don't really believe in this stuff. It's not for me. And, you know, he dealt with some blowback. You know, his dad didn't really agree with it. Our uncle in Louisiana / godfather definitely didn't agree with it. And of course, our grandparents didn't. So, but he had to do what was right for him, what he felt was right for him. And it was how he felt, you know, deep in his heart. He was like, you know, I just no. And through all the blowback, he stayed with it, and nobody could change his mind because it was his, and he dealt with it as he did with it as he pleased. And voila. Eventually, all the blowback stopped. They reluctantly accepted it. And here we are about 12 years later, and all's well that ends well. I don't think anybody really talks about it anymore, you know, except, you know, the coach and I do when we're going down memory lane and we want to have some cheap laughs. I think the only person that really still brings it up is our uncle / godfather. He's the only one that I'm aware of that still brings it up. So, you know, again, for those going through the gay, lesbian, bi thing, you know, you can follow the coach's example. He set his mind to what he knew was right for him in his heart, and he stuck with it. You know, the blowback was coming, but he just kept his head down and went right through it. And every single obstacle that came at him, he splintered it. And poof, here he is 12 years later, and he's doing just fine. So the same will be said for you. You just have to get yourself, you know, focused and figure out what is it that is going to make you happy. Are you going to be happy dating a guy? Or if you're a girl, is dating another girl going to make you happy? And if so, well, then fine, go for it. Absolutely, positively, go for it. And the people that are throwing all the negativity at you or whatever, those are people that you don't need in your life. Chop them off at the knees, cut them loose. They're nothing more than an emotional, mental anchor. And you have no place for them in your life whatsoever. Cut them off and leave them behind. So, so here we go. Another good example. The coach says our uncle even has kind of made peace with it. So, you know, a little bit of a long road, but he's done it. So get yourself happy. That's the big thing. If you want to use the hippie lingo and go self-love, more power to you. That not exactly my cup of tea, but hey, whatever. Go for it. make yourself happy. Bottom line. And if anybody else has any problem with it, well, then you tell them to kiss your ass and you put them in the rearview mirror. It'll be the best decision you've ever made. It'll be difficult. It's going to be easy. But, hey, for your self-happiness, it's got to be done. Take no prisoners. Let's see. If people really care about you, they will get over it. Exactly. Damn right. And if they just keep on and on and on and on and on and on, well, then that should tell you, okay, time to pull the plug on them. Peace. That's what you got to do, my friends. So, to my pupil way down south, if you're listening to all of this, I really hope this helped you and kind of gives you a little bit of perspective about how you can go about the situation and, you know, how to improve things. So hopefully this finds it helpful. And if anybody else has anything like that they're not really sure how to handle or not sure what to do, let me know. I'll be more than happy to kind of help you steer yourself in the right direction. I want to thank Coach for giving in his input. Always a pleasure. So, and to all the people out there who might be listening who are like, oh, you shouldn't be promoting this. Oh, you shouldn't be encouraging them. Oh, they don't need to be da-da-da-da. Fuck you. That's all I got to say to you. So, my babies, this has been another exciting episode. I hope you guys have enjoyed it just as much as I have. I know I'm sure as hell titillated. Woo! So, I will see you guys again Monday night, 9 p.m., same time, same place. So until then, good night, my babies.
Cease to resist, giving my goodbye.